Hi, you're listening to the Flow State Fishing Podcast.
What do you mean?
There's fucking 2 Sheilas in the boat.
Yeah, we're live.
Okay.
All right.
You're going to go back into your shells now.
Yeah.
All right, we're here with Nathan Cleasby, avid spearo, soon to be dad, at Swimming North Spearfishing on Instagram. I have just met Nathan, sort of, half an hour ago?
Not long.
And Chris has dropped in.
Hi.
You might know Chris from...
Oh, yeah, you might know me from certain podcasts as COMPOSITE COMMUNITY.
That is all.
Many guest appearances.
And we're going to chat to Nathan a bit. Chris has already spoke to him on the COMPOSITE COMMUNITY podcast about his custom Haines build, which is, 19-footer?
Yeah, 20? Yep.
20-footer.
Yep.
Custom Haines build and the trials and tribulations of that. We're going to chat to Nathan about spearfishing and some mad trips he's done, how he got into it and all that sort of shit. So, man, where were you born and raised? Let's start from there.
Sure, thanks for having me. Born and raised in Sydney, kind of outer suburbs of Sydney, half an hour from the beach. Dad worked in the city, Mum worked close to home. Was in Sydney for quite a while and then moved up here, moved overseas for a bit and then back down.
Why'd you move north?
Study.
Uni?
Yeah, uni.
Yep.
Yeah. So
you did agriculture, eh?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. I did marine biology in Sydney and then moved to JCU to do a master's in aquaculture.
Yeah, shit.
Yeah.
Chris is just here to troll the podcast.
It'll be quite funny, actually.
You impressed me.
Yeah, right. And overseas, why? Work?
Yeah, went over there to build fish farms in South Pacific.
Yep.
All through the South Pacific.
So have you been diving like your whole life in Sydney as well?
Yeah.
Fuck that.
Yeah, diving.
Cold and mad sharks.
Well, yeah, I mean, it kind of started off when the surf was flat, I'd dive because you couldn't surf, so I'd dive and then it kind of changed over and I liked diving more. And
Yep.
Don't they just skate? If the surf's rubbish, don't you just become a skateboarder?
Well, that's what most people do,
yeah,
no?
concrete hurts a lot more than water when you fall off.
This is true. Yeah. I'll just shut up.
Thanks for your input.
So I think anyone on the potty will know what spearfishing entails, but it's basically free diving in a wetsuit, free diving with a spear gun in a wetsuit, which I think everyone should know what a spear gun is. Fucking hell.
I hope so.
You'd think so. Anyone who listens to this should know.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what species did you target off of Sydney or New South Wales?
Yeah, so I learned to spearfish down there. So a lot of like just rock hopping, jumping in shallow, targeted like a lot of luderick, eastern rock, blackfish. Kind of everyone starts on those kind of fish because they're easy to shoot. They live under rocks, so they're in shallow. You don't have to go and sit in blue water and freak out about sharks. You're in the kind of wash and nice easy place to start. Lots of people do it.
Yeah, we on the old what are they called, the Hawaiian sling, with the rubber.
That's what I started on.
Yeah, true.
They call it like a hand spear. Yeah, that was red hot. You wouldn't get much with them. You'd have to be almost bumping into them before you could shoot them.
And then move north to study, and obviously spearfishing is a huge thing up here. With all your reef species and stuff. And then, so when did you get a boat? What was your first boat?
I got a boat pretty soon after I moved up here, so about 7 or 8 years ago. Got a boat, got like a 3.2 little alley tinny.
Yep.
And that was good. Kind of fished the creeks a little bit and crab pots and...
Did you spear them? A few dudes used to spear up here in the creeks, back in the day.
My mate did. I never did. He used to spear the creek at Lucinda.
Is he dead?
The mangroves there. Yeah, I know. All through the mangroves. If the tide was right and the water was clear, he'd dive the jetty and he'd dive the mangroves. And I was like, no thanks.
Fuck, the jetty would be way worse.
I'll stand on the boat and watch.
The jetty's got fucking, I've seen some insane sharks at Moss there around that jetty, like big bullies and stuff.
Yeah.
And current and stuff like that. There'd be all sorts of monsters down there.
Dive it on once in a blue moon. But every now and again, it's super clear.
Yep.
And I think if it was clear again, I'd dive it now, but I didn't that time.
Way at the end of it, maybe, where there's no croc. Yeah, right. So then you obviously upgraded your boats over time to suit more blue water applications.
Yeah.
Started spearing the reef. So how old are you?
30.
30, yeah. So you haven't been around that long, but been spearing your whole life. Pretty epic.
Yeah.
So freediving...
It's because he can't fish, mate. You ever seen him fish?
No, never.
You're not wrong.
Terrible fish, eh?
Terrible.
He's got no patience for it, mate. He can hold his breath and go down and smack a fish. No interest in holding a rod.
No interest. Oh,
Does the 600 even have rod holders?
No.
Yeah,
no rod holders.
No rod holders in the boat.
That's awesome.
It's not allowed. No, we go line fishing sometimes when the viz is real bad, but I'm rubbish at it, man. I don't understand how sounders work. It's like reading Shakespeare. I can't like look at a picture and know what's going on. I can see when a bump comes, but I'm pretty terrible.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
So we'll talk about breath
Better
hold.
than Chris, but I'm still pretty terrible. Yeah.
That's nothing to rate yourself against.
I know.
That's like bottom of the bar. That's scraping the dirt off the bottom of the barrel.
That's true.
If you ever need anyone to come with you to look better than Chris Austin, at Chris Austin, you can hire me. You can
Just bring him for a good time.
Yeah. If you just want to throw up in the boat.
Proper seasick. Let's talk about breath hold. Is that something you've developed over time without training because you've just been doing it since you were a kid, or did you do breath hold training? Because there's a bit involved in that, eh? Yeah,
there is, and there's a whole, like, for want of a better word, community behind freediving, breath hold, pool training, all that kind of stuff.
Because those dudes just dive to depth without a gun.
Yeah,
just to try and get records and shit, hey?
Yeah, records like 100 metres plus with fins.
That's fucking deep, man.
It's wild, man.
So how many...
It's dangerous.
Yeah. How many minutes? You go down to touch the flag at 100 to come back up. How long's that?
They're down for like 5 or 6, 7 minutes.
Yeah. Freehold, and that's fucking insane, man.
Yeah. And, you get that deep and things happen in your body. Like, they get down there and their brains hardly work by the time they get to... Suddenly they get to the bottom, they're like, oh, what am I meant to do? Like...
Yeah, righto, because
hectic.
Everything's so compressed. Yeah, and then, oxygen's really like the oxygenated blood flows really slowly, and all your veins are really, the arteries and stuff, really
it's
tight.
Hectic for your body. We're not made to go that deep.
No, fuck that. So they do like safety stops, same as scuba and everything, eh? On the way back up.
Not when they're freediving.
Oh, I know, because you're not breathing oxygen.
Yeah, you don't breathe down there.
Yeah, that's right, because you're not breathing. Yeah. That makes complete sense. Yeah, so they just come up.
Well, it doesn't actually make complete sense. It sounds crazy.
It is crazy. But because you're not...
How would you know to push yourself? Like, obviously these guys can do it, but at what stage would you be like, no, I can go a bit further?
Well, that's the thing. That's where it gets dangerous, is when you're pushing yourself and you're not with like a crew that knows what they're doing.
Because you can go down there, but like, you got to get back up.
That's right.
Yeah.
You're halfway there when you get to the bottom.
They got scuba safety divers and shit, don't they, with like spear masks and stuff?
They do have safety divers, yeah. And they're on like a lanyard, and there's when they do the comps and stuff, there's a lot of safety set up.
Have you ever done a comp?
No, not freediving.
Not interested?
Not really.
You just love shooting shit.
Yeah, it's like, I don't know, you've got to be pretty into it to put your body through that kind of stress.
Yeah. How do you train yourself for that?
For freediving?
Yeah. Have you done any courses or anything?
Yeah, we go to the pool we used to when the pools are open. We go to the pool and do training like every Wednesday. There's a group up here that do it all the time.
Yep.
And we just do heaps of drills at the pool, like 50 metres underwater, breathe 30 seconds, 50 metres underwater, 100 metres underwater, whatever. Play different games and stuff. And all that kind of trains you. It's just about keeping calm pretty much.
Yeah, okay.
If you can get your heart rate low.
Marco Polo?
Lots of Marco Polo. So glad you're here, Chris. As long as you can stay calm and keep your heart rate low, you're okay.
Yep. So it's more of like a mental... A lot of it's
very
mental.
Very much so.
Like your brain's
all in your brain.
Yeah, your lungs can probably actually hold your breath for a long time, but your brain's telling you not to.
Yeah, your body has the ability to, clearly. Yeah. But your brain, you have that response saying, I need oxygen, and it's just learning to push that back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, right. Why do you do it? Like, why do you love it so much? It's a whole different world down there, eh?
Yeah, completely different. Because I did marine biology, I always was really interested with what's down there. what's happening down there, how fish interact, how they interact with the reef or the rock structure or the seaweed or whatever it is. That always really intrigued me.
Yep.
So for me, I'd always been in the water, way more comfortable in the water trying to find fish or find something than above the water. And lots of my work consisted of being underwater, diving to collect seaweeds or to do studies on fish or reef ecology, all that kind of stuff.
Yep.
I'd be in the water all the time. So that became quite comfortable. You kind of pick up a lot of how they interact. You can jump
fish
in.
behaviour and stuff.
Yeah, how they behave. Yeah, and the structure, like you can look at it and go, yeah, this looks trouty, or this looks like, it might hold this or that. So all that for me is I guess when fishers go out and they see the sounder and they say, oh, this ledge looks good and there's bait here and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
For me, I wouldn't be able to tell that from a sounder, but jumping in and having a look.
Yeah, okay. Yep. And how deep are you diving? Like normally, say you just go for the day to fill the esky. What sort of are you diving and what species are you targeting?
Standard day up here would comprise of Spanish mackerel is pretty much the main one we'll target. We've got some good spots that are on pressure points, lots of current, the Spanish cruise through, so lots of drifting. So you'll go out there, one guy in the boat, 2 or 3 guys in the water, just drifting over good ground. Yep. And the Spanish will come in. So yeah, normally
you're putting flashes out and stuff like that.
Yeah, flashes.
Do you burley or not really? People do that and people don't.
I don't know. I'm not a massive fan of burley. In the right spot, it's good, but sometimes it's not needed.
Okay.
So yeah, flashes are awesome. Flashes are really good. If the fish aren't coming in and you put a flasher in, you see a difference.
Yeah, okay.
So yeah, a lot of Spanish and then obviously trout. If you don't have many trout in the freezer or you're running low,
they're so fucking stupid, those fish.
Oh, they're unbelievable.
They just like come out from under a bomber and go, huh?
Yeah.
You doing, man?
They look at you straight and then they're like, oh, that shot's too hard. Okay, I'll turn broadside.
Yep.
And then
they sort of look at you and like, what are you doing, cunt? And then they sort of turn side on to sort of like try and staunch you. Yeah. And then you just plug them, eh?
3.
What? Oh, 3 C-bombs. You'll get more than 3. Yeah, right.
Yeah. They're really aggressive. They're territorial. They're the boss down there. So when you go and approach, they'll come out and check you out, and they kind of are saying, "This is my spot."
Yeah. What are you doing
And
here?
then, unfortunately for them, that means they're really easy to shoot.
What about like the bigger trout? I found they're a bit more flighty. Like I dabble. I don't do heaps and heaps, but like if I go out to the reef, I always have the spear gear with me.
Yeah.
Are the bigger trout sort of more finicky?
Yeah, sometimes. They're usually a bit deeper.
Yeah, okay. We're talking how deep, like 15 pluses?
20-ish.
Yep.
Yeah, they like to sit, I don't know. Sometimes they're up shallow, sometimes they're real shallow, but a lot of the times you don't see them from the top. You go down pretty deep and you wait and one will pop out. Yep. And often they'll pop out and they're like, oh, that's too big. Like, I'm not going to shoot that.
Because like sig.
I'm going to lose my spear. I'm going to get sig, or it's just too big.
Yep. Do you find that with the mackerel too? So you're just sort of shooting the decent size where you're not risking getting sick?
I'd like to say yes, but
yeah, it's hard to pass up on a trophy shot.
A big fish.
Give a bit to the dog, see if it gets sick first.
Yeah, that's what the sharky mackerel are for. Good dog food, fun to shoot.
No, you have the last beer stick, mate.
Go halves.
No, you have it. I know how much you want it. Tastes like Red Rooster.
There's a lolly.
Do you want to shout the rums?
Chris is here just to eat the food and
I'll shout him. I'm going to drink him.
Yeah, righto. So a mackerel quite hard to shoot because I know like wahoo when you're flashing and then like wahoo turn up and then you just like literally if you think there's a wahoo there and you turn around there's a wahoo there. Like they just sort of mull around and sort of look at you. Yeah. A mackerel like that.
Yeah, very much so. Part of this thing that I love about spearfishing is that you target each fish differently. I guess the same with fishing.
Yeah.
So the way you shoot at Spanish, thanks mate.
Thank you, sir.
Chris just got us a beer. Is completely different to the way you shoot a trout or the way you go for tuskies or for MSP. Mm-hmm. You approach it differently. You're in different ground. So yeah, Spanish. Once you kind of figure out how to do it, they're actually super easy to shoot.
So you were saying you drift dive in high current areas and stuff because that's where like those pelagic species are sort of prevalent, I guess, and they're feeding and stuff. What's the do you sort of target them at certain times of the year, or do you like for over a 12-month period? Are you targeting different species over the course of the year, or is it just what's in the freezer, or were you chasing trophies and shit?
Sometimes, pretty lucky. Spanish will be around pretty much all year.
Yep.
So if you want one, you can find them. They get a bit bigger when it cools down, and they're a bit thicker when it cools down. But they're around. Most of the fish up here are around most of the year.
Yep.
So blue water season is probably the main kind of seasonality to it.
Yep.
But the reef fish, they're there. They've got nowhere else to go.
Do you dive much lagoons and shit?
Yeah.
Fair bit.
Yeah, we try to like heaps of emperor and
like moo and spangos.
Moo, yeah, I love moo.
Are they delicious? I've never eaten one. I've never even seen one. I've caught one before, but never seen one like diving ever.
Yeah, nah, moo are so smart. They're like MSP. They'll stay their distance.
What's a
moo? Moo is a big
like
eye emperor.
Yeah. It's like a fucking...
A cow, obviously.
Nah, MU. I'll find a picture. It's like they got like a mad tusky mouth.
Yeah.
And like a big jaw and big eye.
Big eye.
Yeah, right. Good eating.
What about buffaloes?
Delicious,
have you ever shot buffaloes?
I've seen them. I haven't shot them yet.
Yeah, right.
They're out wide normally, but...
Yep.
Yeah,
so,
moo, yeah. Don't get me started.
Nah, start. So moo versus... Well, I've eaten spango. Everyone's eaten spango, I think. But like...
Yellow doormat.
Basically, them and long nose, like, they're fucked to shoot. You've got to like sit down, sort of sit behind something and fuck around for a bit, flick a bit of dirt and stuff to even get them to slow down enough to shoot.
Yeah.
Normally, a moo, very similar.
Yeah.
So we're talking lagoons being reef lagoons. So we're talking, you've got a reef and then, how would you explain that?
Yeah, so like where the reef kind of juts in, I guess, and that little area is protected. Or if you go over the reef flat and then it gets to a deeper section.
Yeah. Yeah, so that's a moo.
We're looking at a picture of a moo.
A moo, yeah. So we're just holding up all the listeners because Chris needs to know what one is. MU. It is.
The silver one.
They're all the same. Just one's dead on a fucking cast deck and one's like in the water. Yeah.
Right.
They got like
yellow lips.
Yeah, yellow lips and like a tusky sort of teeth, and then they got like red throat, dorsal fin, like that red tint on top.
Unbelievable chewing.
That good.
Yeah. Oh, and their cheeks, they have like a massive cheek.
Yeah.
You get like a big steak.
Yeah,
out
right.
of their cheek. Yeah.
Yeah. So obviously that's one of your favourite. Sounds like it is one of your favourite fish to target. What about tuskies?
Yeah, tuskies. Townsville, you don't get heaps unless you're diving islands and stuff. Then there's not heaps of them out the reefs off Townsville. So
I just spilled fucking piss on the seat. Chris is like giving me the stinkest eye.
Like it was a podcast. I wish this was recorded.
Sorry, mate.
That's right. I just can't believe you dirtied your $150 pants.
Yeah, I know.
Oh no.
Do they say cast on them?
No, the country road spec.
Oh, but the only things it doesn't.
Yeah. Back to the Perth people we actually want to talk to. Where were we? Tuskies.
Tuskies, yeah. I haven't got many tuskies. Around the islands, you get them.
I've seen a fair few at Bramble, and I've cooked 2 shots since I moved back.
Yeah, right.
On decent sort of, I don't know, 6-8 kilo ones.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, nice.
But I've only seen 2.
Yeah,
just
they
diving.
go hard.
Yeah, they look like they do.
Yeah.
So, moo, have you ever dived sort of the deeper stuff? Because I know like a lot of people just go out, especially in the North Tayaka, and like, what are they called? Sharp-toothed jobbies and stuff? You know those like little small, have you seen them before? Sharp-toothed jobfish, they only grow to like 600 or 800. So you've got like green jobbies, rosies, the same family, I assume.
Yeah.
They're like these little, I don't know, they don't grow real big, but they're a semi-deep water species.
Okay.
And they're like mad chewing, like pearl perch equivalent of the North, I think.
Yeah, right.
I read about them in that About Fishing NQ magazine that comes out every quarter.
Yeah.
A few years ago. Yeah, like species like that.
Yeah, nice.
Like your buffalo, like those, like fish you get out wider. And like, do you target those sort of species like gold band and your rosies and shit like that, or not really?
Not really. They're pretty deep. Lots of those fish, pretty deep water. But yeah, when we go wide, it's mostly pelagics like dogtooth tuna or a couple of times like sailfish and stuff like that.
Yeah. Do you chase many billies? Like,
nah, not really. Kind of, they're hard to, I don't know, pull the trigger on.
Yep.
You see them every now and again, normally when you're not expecting to see them.
Yep.
And the only time I've pulled the trigger on one was when I was in a comp.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Because
I don't know, it's a personal thing.
As in, like, unnecessarily killing something for a trophy?
Yeah.
You can eat Salies?
Yeah.
They smoke up real nice, don't they? Because I ate smoked marlin in Vanuatu.
Yep.
And it was fucking amazing.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, proper good. I've never eaten anything off of here.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I'd contemplate doing it, but you just get so much return. Like,
yeah,
what do you do with all that meat, man?
There's a lot of meat, for sure.
Boy, look, he just spilled piss all over your chairs.
These chairs are rubbish.
Have
anyway.
either of you drunk beers before? And in his shirt, look at it.
Let's talk dogtooth, man. We'll talk dogtooth, and then we'll run through some setups that you use.
Yep.
So some guns and how you set up and stuff. So
And spots. We'll go over your spots.
Yeah, like GPS coordinates and shit.
Yeah, no worries.
When to go there, moon phase, all that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
You know.
When the wind's good.
So doggies, you're diving. Okay, so dogtooth tuna. What sort of places are you looking for to target fish like that?
Wide.
Wide.
Very wide. So go to where it gets deep, pretty much. So for us in Townsville, you go to the shelf or just off the shelf.
Yep.
And then it's a normal kind of pelagic spot. So high current, bait, and structure.
Yep. So depth, or are we giving too much away?
No. Go for it. I'm not a doggy expert.
So when you're diving for them, how like are you trying to find them? Are you like one of those guys that dive daylight and dark, like dawn and dusk, while they're up on the reefs? And are you flashing them up and shit?
Yeah, flashes. Definitely flashes.
Yeah.
Because you're in like, when we go out real wide, the vis is like 60 metres, 50, 60 metres. So,
yeah, because it's super
so
cool.
they can see you a lot further away than you can see them. So flashing, and 9 times out of 10 they'll cruise in on the flasher and hang around the flasher. Doggies, I haven't shot heaps, but in my experience, they're not that hard to shoot.
Yep.
They're really hard to land because they take off like a freight train.
Yep. So you either got to like spine them or brain them, eh?
Yeah. If you don't stone them, you're in for a ride.
And you're running like float lines and double floats, like like 3 atmosphere floats.
Yep.
So,
couple of them.
Yeah. So we're talking, when we say atmosphere floats, it's the amount of air you put in them, and you put them at 3 atmospheres deep. Mm-hmm. So whatever the pressure is at 3 atmospheres, how do you explain that? Like the atmospheric pressure where we are right now times 3 is the depth they can go to without compressing.
So 1 atmosphere is 10 metres.
Yeah, okay.
So they can, pretty much. But anything really, like any kind of float, whatever you've got that's buoyant.
Yeah.
That's going to come back up.
Tombstone and fucking...
That's right.
And just get the boys looking for them pirate. Like, and it's deer gear too. Like, you're talking like multiple shafts because you fucking fuck up so much gear. And then your float line's a few $100. Mm-hmm. One float's like $300 or $400.
Floats are super expensive.
Yeah. So you buy 2 of them, you're up. And then a good like carbon gun, you fucking hell, you're upwards of like $5,000 out of pocket.
Yeah.
For one setup.
Yep.
Yeah.
You don't want to lose it.
Nah. Breakaways and shit. So because you watch some of those like Apnea Maldives on Insta, like they shoot some fucking horse dogtooth, man, like scary big dogtooth. And like you get them boys that are like, they shoot them and you just watch this dogtooth just zoom into the depths, and these fucking giant floats are just tombstoning, and then
pull them down like nothing.
Yep.
Like if you try and pull one of those floats down, you have no chance.
Yeah.
And they're just like dunk, 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 3 floats gone.
Yep.
You're like,
and then you just sort of sit there and wait and hope they come back up.
Pretty much. Yeah.
Yep. So the different sort of setups, are you using like a pretty long gun?
I've got a 1.5 that I use if it's proper blue water.
Yep.
I've got a pretty good carbon 1.3 that is kind of a do everything gun. Like you can shoot fish on the reef or you can shoot fish in blue water. So I quite like a reel. So most of my guns have got reels on them.
So you don't run breakaways for dogtooth?
It's way smarter too. Yeah.
Like so you don't lose your gun.
Yeah.
So I know we'll go through all your kit and stuff because I've got a fair few spearo mates that will froth on this potty just for the info. But a breakaway, explain a reel, explain just a standard gun.
Yeah, sure. So pretty much a breakaway or a slip tip is a barb that sits on the end of your spear. So when you shoot a fish, that gets lodged into the fish and then that barb is attached to a line to a float. So you've still got your gun. Your gun isn't having reel being spooled out of it or being pulled along. You've got your gun, and the fish is just taking the float and the line.
Yeah, so your barb's connected to your float line.
Yeah.
So you can only lose half your shit.
Yeah, pretty much.
Basically.
Unless you let go of your gun and let it sink.
Yeah, and then your reel guns are like fairly well suited. Well, they're a pretty general purpose sort of thing.
Yeah, super general purpose, especially for up north. Down south, not as much. Unless you're chasing like kingies and stuff like that, then you need a reel. But lots of the fish down south, you don't need it. But
it's just that for those fish that run a bit, like mackerel and
Spanish,
stuff.
Yeah, you need it. Reel guns are perfect for Spanish.
Yep.
Because they run hard, but they only have one good run in them.
Yep.
And then you can bring it back in. Yeah.
Run us through your setups. So like
So big blue water gun is the 1.5. That I do have a breakaway for that. It's doesn't have a reel on it at the moment. It's set up for breakaway. 30 metres of line to a float, and then more line to another float.
Yep.
And then I've got a 1.3 that I use. That's kind of I probably use that gun 90% of the time.
Yep.
Really good gun. That's got a reel on it, about 40, 50 metres of line on that. And then sometimes I'll dive with a reel on my belt.
Yep.
If I'm sure if there's big Spanish coming through, I'll put a reel on my belt.
So how's that work?
So pretty much when you get spooled, you've got no line left on your gun. You clip your belt onto your gun, and then it'll take that, and you've got another 50 metres or 60 metres of line on you. So that you're not getting pulled through the water.
Yeah.
You've got another.
And
for a fish to pull like 100 metres of line is
insane.
Very, very rare.
Yeah. So we're like talking big Spanish. Wahoo.
And it's a bad shot if they're doing that. Like you've probably hit them in the gut and they're really angry and they're
gone
out of there.
Yeah. Fuck. Yeah. So back on dogtooth, because that's sort of the pinnacle of the pelagic shit. And I
spearfishing, it's probably
I froth them just period. Like I chase them in Vanuatu pretty hardcore. I'm going to get target them off here like in just normal conventional fishing in Vanuatu, and we got 20 keggers, 25 keggers.
Yeah.
But hooked so many big fish, man.
And they're eating, like, they're so good to eat.
Insane. Yeah, they're delicious. Yeah. But, like, I've never experienced anything. Like, I've caught some pretty big GTs, and I've never hooked anything that's like that. That you sort of hook them and you get 3 or 4 pumps and they sort of just sit there and shake their head for a bit.
Yeah, that's exactly
and
what
then they just go, yeah, righto. So how big was that one? So Chris has just shown us a picture of a dogtooth Nathan speared on his Insta or Facebook.
Yeah. That one was in a comp, that one. So we actually weighed it, and I should remember what it was. It was about 20.
Yeah, righto. Decent fish.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah, good fish. Yeah. My mate got one that day as well that was like 30 odd.
Yep, they're fucking big fish.
Solid fish, man. He was lucky he stoned his because he only had a reel gun. He was done.
Those ones that like they get so hot because they just cook themselves. Like the ones we caught were just they would like give themselves barrow trauma almost, and you just get them in and they're hot to touch.
Yeah, fully. Like we went out. That was about 110 kilometres offshore. That one there that I shot, and we got 2 of them, a 20 kilo and a 35 kilo in about an hour, and it melted our esky.
Yeah, righto.
We had to come back in. The comp was 2 days long. We had to come back in because I didn't want that fish to go bad.
Yeah.
And we had, I think, 5 or 6 bags of ice and then like brick ice.
And it cooked it.
Yeah,
righto.
Yeah.
That's full on.
Now I would bleed it in the water and leave it for a little while. Apparently they cool down.
Yeah, okay.
Once you've bled them.
Back to water temperature.
Yeah, back to water temperature. But they're hot, man. You put them in there.
Yeah. Is that because they just swim real fast?
Yeah.
Yeah, they just cook themselves like lactic acid and shit. You literally touch them and it's like fucking, I don't know, what's it close to? Like grabbing like you just pour a cup of coffee in the morning, you put your hands around the cup. That's what it feels like. They're hot.
They're warm. Yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah,
but powerful fish. Yeah.
Like we hooked them on jigs and stuff, and they sort of just like head shake, and you get 3 or 4 pumps, and you think, oh yeah, I got on top of it, and next minute they just go, and just bury you into the depths, and you never see anything again.
That fish there, I've got it on video, and I shoot it, and it does that exact thing. I actually went down. It came in on the flasher, and my mate was flashing, and it came in, and I looked at him, and he looked at me, and it was my turn. So I was like, righto, I'll go down, and I swam like right down on top of it, the whole time, like just stayed on top of it, shot it through the head, flared its gills, like big shake, and then boom.
Gone.
I was spooled on my reel and I was still like 10 metres under the surface. I was lucky I had a good buddy. He came down and clipped. I didn't have the float line on me. I just had a reel gun. He clipped. You can watch it. He clips the float line onto my gun, and as soon as it's clipped on, poof, the gun's gone, like ripped out of my hand, and then the float line just goes buzzing past.
Fucking lucky.
It's wild, man.
That's
very
so lucky. How good he was onto it.
Yeah, he's a pretty good diver. So the dude, he's the dude I own the boat with.
So did he see you go down?
Yeah,
and saw
he was
the
flashing.
Yep.
So he was on the flasher, and he watched the whole thing, and then he saw me. I was kind of motioning to him on my way back up, and he came down and clipped the float line on and. Like literally, we probably had 2 seconds before the gun was ripped out of my hand.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
And it just would have been one of those stories about there was a big fish.
That's it. And then the sharks all follow it, and you're like, man.
Yeah, because they're fucking everywhere too, and that pays to have like good dive buddies and shit too.
Absolutely.
Yeah, because you'd have a fair few gnarly shark stories or what?
Yeah.
Like proper sketchy ones. What's your biggest dogtooth first?
That one.
Yeah. Yep. So 20 odd kilos.
Yeah.
What
kilos.
righto? So shaq stories, chasing pelagics, they're just fucking everywhere. The dogs.
Dogs.
Yeah, you don't like them, eh?
Nah, no way.
You don't even like getting in the water.
Because of sharks.
Well, that's the thing. Like
9 times out of 10, they just want your fish.
that's right.
I'm right then.
It's just that one. It's just that 1 out of 10 that you worry about. And I've been in the water a lot. I've seen a lot of sharks. I had a great white swim between my legs when I was down in New South Wales.
Yeah, see, fuck that. You can have all the... Like, I'll dive north with, like... I've been in the water around, like, tigers. Not stayed there, but seen them and been like, oh, yeah, it's just there checking me out. And even, like, bronzies and stuff.
Yeah.
But fucking great whites, man. There's just something about them. I don't know if it's, like... how they've been perceived by media and, like, how you've grown up. Like, are they?
They're aggressive.
Yeah. They're just like, fucking this morning.
They're just inquisitive, and their way to see how or what you are is just to bite you.
Fuck that, man. Yeah. And they're just big. Sharks. Like, they're just fucking big.
Tanks, man.
Yep.
But yeah, no, the worst, I don't know. It's one of those things.
It's
like
worse than the one swim between legs.
Yeah, definitely. Everyone who doesn't spearfish because of sharks. So I don't love talking about it because then people don't get in and try it. But I've been diving a long time, and this is the worst thing that's ever happened to me. And I was out off Townsville. We were in about 20 metres of water. Didn't burley, didn't flash, hadn't shot a fish at this spot.
Yep.
We were just drifting along the edge of the reef. And it was pretty quiet. We'd been close to that spot earlier in the day, and my mate had gone down. There was 3 of us in the water and 1 in the boat. So one dude's in the boat, staying nice and close. 3 of us are in the water. One dude's gone up chasing squid on the shallows, like what Chris likes to do. So there's 2 of us out.
Peaceful.
Safe.
Yeah.
There's 2 of us.
Yes.
Very safe. There's 2 of us out wide on this edge, right? And I'm about 10 metres down, just sitting, waiting to see what's going to come in, flicking my rubbers, like shaking my gun a little bit, making a little bit of noise, but not much. And I see this bull shark about 20 metres away at my height. And there was something about it, like you can see the way a shark swims, whether it's interested in you or not.
Explain that.
Well, like tigers, for instance, they're like scavengers. So they're like the ibises of the sea.
Bin chickens of the sea.
Bin chickens, pretty much. They're there for an easy feed, and you're not an easy feed. So they'll often move pretty placid, fins out, kind of slow moving and low.
Yep.
But when sharks come up, like a scooting up off the bottom, or they're high in the water and moving quickly, that's like...
Yep, fins tucked and shit.
Tucking fins and just sporadic movements. That's if you haven't shot a fish and they're doing that, keep an eye on them.
Yep.
So that's what this one did. It was my height. I hadn't moved. I was literally just sitting on my gun 10 metres down in 20 metres of depth. And it's just scooting around, and I'm like, okay, this is a big shark. And it's
how big?
Not looking too good.
From the hip, shoot from the hip, roughly.
Yeah, 3 metres.
Yeah, fucking.
But wide, like girthy, like
big bully,
huge head on it.
Big buff-headed thing.
Big buff-headed thing.
White Kelly shark,
basically. Big head, big brain, mate.
So I start cruising up. I like consciously move really slowly, start heading back to the surface. I can hear my mate on the surface making a bit of like noise, not shouting, just like to kind of say, hey, you looking at this? Have you seen this?
Yeah.
And I turn around and kind of nod at him and head back to the top, and it goes out of sight and then it comes back in sight and it's flying.
Yeah.
Straight for me, but along the bottom. So it's about probably 15 metres down, flying in. I'm like, whoa, this shark is really aggressive. And then it gets underneath me and turns on a dime and comes straight up.
Fuck that, man.
So I'm on the top of the water. I've got nowhere to go. I can't get my head out of the water to shout for a boat because I want to see where this shark's going.
Mm-hmm.
And it's moving like so quickly that it's hard for me to keep my gun pointed on its mouth. All I'm looking at is the thing's mouth, and it's come flying in. And in my head, it's like any other bull shark video you watch. You're like, it's going to turn. Like it's just charging me. It's saying, this is my ground. Get out of here. And that's what they do. So I'm like, okay, it's going to turn. It's going to turn. I'm super calm. I don't think my heart rate's come up at all. I'm like, it's going to turn. It's all good. It's going to turn. It's going to turn. And it just doesn't turn. So just before it gets to me, I'm like, oh shit, it's not turning. So I like pull my gun back and like pull my legs out of its way, and it smashes into my feet. Didn't open its mouth, it just wanted to ram me. Smashes into my feet, knocks a fin off, knocks me upside down. And there's so much girth on this thing that it creates like a vacuum behind it when it goes. It pulls me down, like upside down behind it without it even grabbing me. So I'm upside down, the fin's off, my gun's like...
Are you listening to the Spielberg? This is yours through, baby.
Fucking me dead.
So anyway, I grab my fin, get to the top, shout for the boat. My mate is like doing freestyle, swimming towards me. So same dude, good dive buddy. And I'm just trying to like, all right, this thing's going to want to have a go. It gets back to the bottom, turns around, does the same thing.
Was it do you reckon it was telling you to fuck off because it didn't have its mouth open? Like it was just trying to
I mean,
get out, like being territorial?
I think that's what it was doing. Yeah. I think the second time it wanted a chunk.
Crack. Yeah, okay.
The first time was saying, this is my spot, get out.
What happened the second time?
Second time did the same thing. So it comes flying up. I'm shouting for the boat. And
you're at the surface now.
The guy, the boatie, I'm on the surface. Yeah. The boatie's taking a piss off the back of the boat. So I'm screaming like, "Hoi, get over here!"
Before
and very rarely will you scream at the boat. Normally it's like, I've got a fish. Like you put your arm up, put your gun up, whatever. So he realised, something's going on. So he runs back to the controls, and anyway, this shark's come flying up again, and I'm like, all right, this time it's going to go. You see, like, it's still like 5 metres away from me. It rolls its eyes back, and I'm like, all right,
she's going
on here.
Because they roll their eyes back to protect them, don't they?
Their eyes.
Oh, really?
When they're going to take a bite, they push their gums forward and
you can see this like clear as day.
Clear as day.
Oh, mate.
You can probably see it in slow motion.
Oh, I can picture it. All I can see is the white underside of the shark. Like, I don't remember seeing the top of it. I just remember seeing the white come right past my head.
You just stain your wetsuit.
So it comes flying up the second time, and the guy in the boat floors it just as it gets to me, and it must have heard the outboard, and that freaked it out, so it didn't smash into me. It kind of darted up right in front of me, so I just see the white underside of this shark come past in front of me, and it's wide, man, like 600 wide, I reckon, and it's flying past me, and my buddy has got my wetsuit holding me because when we're together we look a bit bigger, and we've got two guns, and he can kick and I can just keep an eye on this thing. So it's come back and done that, and then the boat comes flying over and it's coming up again, and we clamber into the boat, guns are loaded, which is dangerous as, throw guns in, clamber into this boat, and this shark just goes whack with its tail on the surface as we get into the boat and disappears. And so we're just in the boat like,
wow.
Oh, that was hectic.
And nothing went on eBay or Gumtree. It wasn't just like spear guns for sale, wetsuits for sale. Done.
Yeah,
wow.
Holy fuck.
It was pretty intense. It was definitely the most intense shark encounter I've ever had. And we kind of just I was still, I don't know how, just super calm. But when I got in the boat, I think I went into shock.
Yeah.
I had to lie
shaking
down.
And cold and dizzy.
And I was I needed to drink. And I was okay, that was pretty hectic. And my mate Alex, who pretty much saved me, like pulled me onto like real close to him, and he was kicking for the boat and talking to the boat and had his gun. He was standing on the back of the boat, and this shark was still burning around. Like the viz was really good, we could see it. And I was like to the boat, I was like, "Wait, let's get the hell out of here." So the boat, he floors it. Alex is on the pod on the back, and he falls in.
No.
He falls straight in the water. No fins, no gun. He's a sniper in the army, mate. So he's like cool, calm, and collected, and he is panicking, freestyling for the boat. And anyway, we got him in. No dramas, but
fuck.
It was pretty hairy.
That's fucking hectic, man.
There's a story. Holy.
Yep. I'm just gonna go for a piss and process that. We'll have a piss break and get another beer. Holy.
Yeah.
That shark, like, every afternoon comes to that same spot just looking for you again.
All right, so we're back. That was a fucking lot to process. That was like near-death experience. Like, I felt like I was there.
But how many times have you been in the water and not experienced that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like super rare for that to even happen,
Super
especially
rare.
the fact that you didn't have any fish, like you didn't have fish on a float,
Yeah,
nothing
that's right.
happening, or on your belt, nothing.
Yeah.
That's fucked. I can't do that. Like people have they clip fish to their belts.
Yeah, no.
No way.
Nah, you're
People
asking
do
for
that.
trouble.
Really?
Yeah, people
You were
actually
just bait then, right?
Basically. Oh,
People do it on scuba. They like get a stringer and line all their fish up underwater on air and keep shooting fish, and they get
While you're looking in one direction
which
and
is
not what's
highly
happening.
illegal, by the way.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Very legal.
Yeah. Fuckheads. Anyway, so it's like super rare that
Super
occurs.
rare.
Like,
Yeah.
So if you're listening to this podcast in the water at the moment,
yeah, if you got your waterproof headphones on.
it's okay.
Yeah, you're all good. Yeah, no, I've been diving a lot of times. I have had a fair few bull shark encounters. I don't know why.
They're cunts of fish, eh?
They just
Bing,
they
5.
like to come in. 4 or 5.
That's fine. It's got to be. I'm doing all right.
But it's when you have a fish. It's
Yeah.
when you have a fish going mad. I've had a big hammerhead come in before, but it's
Yeah.
when you have a fish. When you have a fish going mad, it makes sense, and
Yep.
you've got a bit of leeway, because if that shark's coming in hot and it's going to get the fish, you can let it have the fish. I never like to do that, but you can let it have the fish. You know it's going for the fish. It's not going for you. So yeah,
Yeah.
very rare.
Jesus
Still
Christ.
spearfish. Spearfishing is awesome.
Yeah, it is. It's pretty epic. I just think, like, it's just, you're out of your element completely as a human being. Like, obviously, you can't stand in there for any duration of time or you'll die or get fucked up in the head. And it's just a whole different world, man.
Yeah.
And I think I enjoy it because I like trying to push myself.
Yep.
Like, probably almost too far. A few times, I've got no breath hold since I moved back, fuck all. But trying to, like, push yourself that bit further. I used to be able to dive this. And then you get down there and you push, and then all of a sudden you go, ooh, dizzy.
Yeah.
Which is like a fine line to tread between dizzy and passing out.
Yeah. Very fine.
Yeah, you sort of don't want to try and do that. Yeah, righto. So have you got any sort of goals? Like, what's been on your list?
Spearfishing wise?
Yeah, what's been on your list and what have you ticked off?
Yeah, so I would love to get one billfish of each species.
Yep. As in all the billfish worldwide, or just billfish Australia?
Billfish up here,
Yeah.
and then see how that goes.
So black sail is.
Black, sail, blue.
Yep. Fuck, blue marlin would be hard.
Yeah, I hit a sail, and I reckon. Well, actually, my mate reckoned it was like 70 or 80 kilos.
Saily.
Yeah, it was massive.
Yep.
But
because they get to like stupid big, don't they?
Yeah.
Way bigger than what you think.
Well,
don't they get to like
Australian
200 kilos?
record's not all that big. Australian record's like 70 odd.
Speared.
I might be wrong. Speared.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Don't they get to a couple hundred kilos? Like the
I don't
oceanic ones? I can't remember. I feel like it's way bigger than what you see that you catch off, like Broome and Darwin and here and stuff.
Yeah, lots of people catch smaller ones.
Yeah. Yep. 1,000
Yeah,
pound,
so-
1,000 pound black. You won't?
That'd be wild. That would. Who knows? One day. No, I guess goals. Yeah, there's some cool reef fish that I really like to target, like long nose, buff emperor, those kinds of fish are
Reds,
really cool
nannies?
to target. Nannies, yeah. So I haven't got a red before. So a red, I've been real close a few times, but they've just like they're clever, man. They'll just cruise down. So I saw one probably at 20, and it cruised down to 30, and then I was my watch was beeping, and I was like, yeah, I shouldn't follow this, and So I've been real close, but I'd love to shoot a big red, big nanny.
Yep. So you're real conscious of your depths and how long you're down for and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah. Because the danger with spearfishing is you forget. Is you're so like targeted on that fish that you just go for that fish for that fish.
Yeah, well, especially when you're well trained like you and you've got good breath hold. That you just keep going until you sort of don't realise.
And you just like all those warnings in your body you can
ignore,
go past. Yeah, because there's that fish, and a red has nearly got me before because it's just down at the same speed I'm swimming. So like it's going to slow, but that's where you get dangerous. Yeah,
and full dizzy.
Yeah,
fucking that'd be a fuck place to pass out. At 30, imagine passing out 30 metres. I don't think there's much hope for you unless your mate can dive 30 and stay down there and get you back up without fucking himself. Yeah.
Well, there's the craziest spearfishing story I've heard is a guy doing that, chasing a fish down deep, really good viz, turned at 30 and came back up and blacked out. No. Normally you black out within the top couple of metres. So he came back up pretty close and blacked out, but his mate had gone down with him, so he had no oxygen. And his mate is just sinking. And this guy's like trying to breathe up. And he's sinking, and he swims down after his mate to try and pull him up, who's unconscious, sinking. And he's too deep. The guy's like, I can't reach him. I can't get him. So he lines his gun up. This happened.
This actually happened.
This happened in New South Wales. Lines his gun up for his like thigh. He's like, I'll try and get him through the thigh and pull him back because I'm about to pass out. And as he goes to shoot, the guy turns and his fin comes out. And he's like, oh, shoot him in the fin. So he shoots him in the fin, pulls him back up and resuscitates him.
And he lives.
Holy
fuck, brain dead?
No, he was all right.
Holy
as far as I know, yeah.
Fucking story time with Cleasby. Jesus.
Not my story, but...
That's epic though.
It's a crazy story. Yeah.
Take up spearfishing, kids.
Shoot mate's fin, not his leg.
Yeah, it's a pretty hardcore sport. Like people don't realise how much fucking effort, and like you go spearfishing, and then if you don't realise how fit it is. Like,
it's pretty physically demanding.
There's dudes that just spearfish and they walk around with like fucking six packs, not an inch of fat on them. Yeah. Like fit as fuck, and they don't do anything else other than free dive. Yeah. It's crazy.
Yeah, the free divers and like their lung capacity and stuff like that. Yeah. That's what they train. It's like training for anything, like soccer players. Like
it's amazing what you can push your body
agility.
To do,
These guys have got crazy lungs.
Spearfishing is a perfect little medium between mental and physical strength, because like I have like a bit of a fighting background, love all that sort of stuff, and the mental push you need from that's pretty epic, and obviously the physical fitness that you need and skills is like it's on par with spearfishing, I reckon, out of the extreme sports.
Yeah, it's definitely a lot of mental, especially when like viz is bad and you just got to go.
Yep, just got to go.
You just can't see anything and you swim down and you know no one can see you from the surface.
Yeah, so that's pretty fucked up.
You just got to be calm.
You chase crays and stuff just for feeds?
Yeah, heaps of crays. So my job is I work with crayfish like every day of the week. So Moreton Bay bugs and tropical rock lobsters.
Yum.
So I spend all my time with them, and when I'm out there...
Didn't you just knock them off from work?
Yeah, I do. Whoops. No, we eat a fair few from work. But yeah, we go out and we got some pretty good spots for them.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. And that's quite cruisy. You can like a few meters of water.
It's shallows. It's a good way for people to learn because it's shallow, it's pretty, it's nice. There's squid. What? How are you still here?
Is that you? Was that you, the squid guy?
Yeah. There's like 10 of them in a row. It was beautiful.
Did you hit them?
Nah, I wasn't going to hit them. They were beautiful. Just gracefully just blobbing around like squid. I was more like, because they were all in a line, like when I first saw it, I was like, what the hell is that? And these guys were swimming off chasing a cray. And I could hear the noise of the cray underneath the thing.
Right.
Like clicking.
Yeah. And so I looked down and I saw it, and then I looked back up and all the squid were not in a row anymore. And so it was kind of funny. I was like, oh, they're just squid, you idiot. But under the water, because everything's just like so
suspended animation.
Nice, and it was crazy, but they were good squid. Good squid. But I didn't shoot them. Mainly because I couldn't put the band back on the...
Couldn't load the gun.
I couldn't load it, so I was like, oh, whatever fish I could
probably shoot. Only like an 800 or something too.
Yeah. It was about that.
I still couldn't do it.
You got the wetsuit on, that's good enough.
Yeah, I don't know about
That
that.
would have been funny as fuck to see. The big rig putting a wetsuit on.
You see them memes and stuff on social media about them big people at Walmart wearing like real. Yeah, that's what was me in the wetsuit.
I do have a picture.
Yeah.
Fuck, that's cool. Red Rooster, see? Get you every time.
Oh, once. Jeez, I had Red Rooster once.
It happened to be the time.
Hey, how you were never
fuck one
here
goat,
to
you're a goat fucking fall off.
You were never here for Ichibon.
What's Ichibon?
Mate,
It was a very good
upper
takeaway
class
shop.
establishment.
But it was so dodgy, they defrost their prawns on the roof of the guy's car out the front and then put them in like a noodle box kind of
And
setup.
that it was good.
It was really good, but then they got shut down because they were
Health
breaking a
regulations or
whole bunch
something.
of rules.
They just had like a 44 of MSG, and it used to just be like defrosted prawns, and then like bloop 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 of MSG, and you just be like, oh, that was so good. And then an hour later, you're asleep. It was good.
Fucking hell.
A message.
Most memorable catch, spearing.
It'd be a dogtooth for sure.
Yep.
I showed you a video just before of a dogtooth. That was probably the most memorable because I was so close to losing it the whole time.
Yeah, okay.
There was sharks everywhere. It was on a real gun. It was a good doggy.
We'll put that video up on the page.
Yeah.
It's pretty epic to watch your mate come down and clip his fucking gun to your gun with the float line on it.
He does.
Pretty
He
cool.
does well. Yeah.
Yeah, that's insane.
Yeah. Yep.
Yep. So what? Big Billy's upgraded dogtooth.
Yep. That's the plan.
Upgraded. What's the kilo? What are you after? Or just any upgrade?
Whatever, yeah.
Have you shot a brim?
I have shot a brim.
Ew.
Sydney, desperate times.
Don't you fucking swear on here. You're allowed to say cunt, but you can't say brim.
Bing, 6.
Fucking brims. Oh dear. Oh, my old girl keeps ringing me, eh? No, that's not my old girl.
That's work.
That's work. Naked mate too. Yes. Cool. So, any advice for people who are like contemplating getting into it?
Don't listen to the first bit. Don't listen to the first bit of the podcast.
Don't listen to this podcast. Just tune into the last 3 minutes.
No, there's a lot to be said for spearfishing. I think like hunting underwater is a cool thing.
Yeah.
Being able to target fish is
Well, I guess
a cool
it is
thing.
like hunting because like you're trying to understand the behaviour of an animal.
Yeah.
Basically.
Exactly right. You understand how they move, where they live, what they're going to do when you approach them. All that kind of really similar to hunting on land. So it's a whole new world, as stupid as it sounds down there. Like it's completely different. Like if you live up here and you don't get in the water on the reef, you're crazy.
You're a fucking fool.
You're crazy.
Yeah, Chris.
Oh, I did.
One time.
Yeah, I know what you mean, but like it's one of them places where you just lose complete track of time and stuff. Even like if you're not proper, if you haven't been doing it for a while, you can dive and then you go, oh yeah, I remember that crevice or whatever.
Yep.
You know what I mean? I'm around this bommy.
Yep.
And all of a sudden you go, okay, I've done a lap of the. You don't know you've done a lap. Like you've just gone to the next bommy and you don't even realise type thing.
Yep.
If you're on a half decent bit of reef or whatever.
And you get to know the reef really well.
Yeah.
Like you get to know, oh, I got a lobster out of that 6 months ago, that little rock there. You go back, there's another one there.
Yeah.
You learn the reefs, you learn the currents and all that kind of stuff, and being able to target specific fish. I think the more you do it, the more targeted you get. When you start, you just go and bang trout.
Yeah.
Because they taste awesome and they're easy to shoot.
They're so fucking easy to shoot.
And they're delicious. But I think, being able to target different fish, flashing, burley, blue water, that's kind of, I guess, where most people progress in spearfishing.
It's a pretty big community, right?
Yeah, a lot of people do it.
Yep.
Yeah.
Worldwide too. Like it's on. I don't know if it's on power fishing. I don't know what the stats are, but like people do it wherever they can.
Yeah.
Like there's
Pretty
dudes
approachable. Sorry to interrupt, but like when you look at fishing and the sort of egos and stuff like that.
I honestly don't know. I'm not really tied up with any. You'd be able to answer that.
Yeah, there's a little bit of it.
Yeah.
Can't be as much as the fishing game because fucking geez, there's some cockheads in
Seems
here.
to be a lot of fishing.
Holy man.
Yeah.
Fucking shocking.
Yeah, there's some, but I think, people kind of keep themselves a little bit more in spearfishing. It's just a different kind of person, I guess, that does spearfishing.
Yeah.
Like,
well, you look at those dudes that like, we're just going on how it's worldwide and shit. Like there's those dudes in Norway and Finland and shit that spear halibut.
Yeah.
Which is like a fucking, I don't even know, how big do they get? Do you know how big?
They get massive.
Like, it's basically a flounder.
Yeah.
That gets like, I'm shooting off the hip here, but 150 pounds or 200 pounds or some shit, like massive.
They're massive.
And they go in like 8 mil wetsuits and dry suits and shit that dive in, don't they? Some of them?
Mm-hmm.
Like full freezing fucking fjords and shit, diving and shooting those things.
Under the ice and everything.
Yeah.
Proper. To eat or just as a sport?
Yeah, eat them.
Yeah.
Oh, true.
Yep. Yeah, like, and there's dudes that travel from Europe, from the UK, like England, and fly to like Norway or whatever you call it, like that area, Norway. I'm pretty sure Norway, Finland.
Yep.
So, yeah, all those sort of places. Denmark, I think.
Yeah, they love it. Yeah, it's all over, man. It's everywhere, and in like through the South Pacific and stuff like that. It's like a staple. Like that's just how they eat. They live in a village. They swim out. They shoot some fish. And it's completely different over there. Like I lived in the Solomon Islands for a year, and you have to change your mindset because they just want the little fish.
Yeah,
that's what they're targeting. Their guns don't have lines. They don't have reels. They don't. It's just like a thin bit of wire that pegs the fish to the reef, and then they grab it. So that's completely different. But if they can't spearfish, then they die. They don't eat.
Basically. Yeah. Well, in Vanuatu was the same. Like we were fishing out of a 32-foot boat.
Yeah.
Popping for dogtooth tuna and jigging for dogtooth tuna, and we were in like 70, 80 metres of water, popping a 30 metre reef, and there was kids paddling out in dugout canoes from the beach, like could nearly chuck a rock onto the sand.
Yeah. Gets like, deep quick over
those
there.
Pacific, fucking insane. Like, do you follow Jaga Fiji? I don't know how you pronounce his actual name. I'm pretty sure he's an Australian dude and he owns a big game boat.
Okay.
Operates out of Fiji.
Yeah.
They spear some fucking stupid dogtooth.
Yeah, right.
Like double fist up the gills and the dogtooth's like laying on the floor.
Yeah.
Yeah. Big wahoo and shit.
Yeah.
Yeah. And they're all like, you can see the land. Stones throws away from the shit.
Yeah, it's wild over there. Those islands just come up out of such deep water.
Yep.
Those currents.
Have you got plans to travel?
I'd love to. Yeah,
yep.
I'd love to, but mate, Townsville's a bloody good spot to spearfish.
It is, It is.
You can get world-class fish just out there.
I like how, because the reef's off of Townsville, if you go an hour north, it's 25 k's in front of the reef, 30 k's?
Yeah, to Bramble, yeah.
To the bottom of Bramble?
Yeah.
Be 30 k's?
35, yeah.
Yeah, so off of Townsville, it's, what's John Brewer, 80 k's?
80, yeah.
Yeah, to the front of the reef off Townsville. So you don't get a lot of those smaller boats going there.
Yeah.
And people, like, it's a big gap between Townsville and, like, there's a long run there of just open water.
Yep.
So a lot of people won't go when it's even half windy.
Yep.
Which is obviously why you built your big fuck off boat. So you can just send it.
Yeah, just go.
15s, up. Yeah, that's cool, man. We might round it off. Been chatting for an hour. That was pretty epic. I'm fucking pretty rattled about all the shark story. Chris stayed for the whole thing.
Yeah, I know. You're welcome.
You carried us through, man. Carried us through.
For your input.
Any healthy advice, tips and tricks for people who are just starting out, or stuff that people like that you've learned over the years that people might not know, or just stuff to help people along?
I reckon just dive within your limits and go with people that know what they're doing.
Yep.
That's what I mean by the communities are pretty approachable. If you're like, hey, I want to get into this.
Yeah, there's Facebook groups and skin diving groups and all that kind of stuff. There's training you can go to. You don't have to know anyone. You just rock up, jump in the pool. I think Longtown they do it on Wednesdays. Like you can jump in there. There's a Townsville Skin Diving Club. You can join that. It's easy to get into, but it's like anything. If you go with people that know what they're doing, you pick it up so
quickly.
But if you go and just try and figure it out, it takes you a long time.
No different to fishing in general, I think.
Yeah, it's like heaps of things. So I guess my advice would be get the best gear you can afford.
Yeah.
A good gun, like something that shoots straight.
So if I'm going out, if I want to just start spearfishing and I'm diving 8s, 10s max, what am I buying?
Buy just like a Rob Allen, like a 1.2.
Yep.
Just a standard gun. If they shoot straight, you can smash them around. They last forever.
Yep.
if you want, chuck a reel on it, but to start off, you probably won't need one.
Yep.
And just go and like shoot trout, or shoot spanglies, or shoot what else? People shoot parrotfish. I'm not sure why, but they do.
They're not even that nice to eat.
No, not really. They stink.
And they're cunts to fill it. They've got them.
Ding, 7.
6.
Nah, mate, we were at 6 before.
Oh, 7. Yeah, and they've got like those massive fucking scales.
Yeah.
Proper pains in the ass.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. And I feel bad because they mate in pairs. So there's always 2 parrotfish, and you go and shoot one, and the other one's just like, oh, come on, friend. You feel real bad and shit.
They'll jump on your spear.
Yeah.
It's probably the nicest thing I've ever heard Wade say.
Whereas trout just come out by themselves, and they're just like, what, cunt?
Yeah.
Ding, 8.
Yeah.
I'm trying to get to 10 before the fucking
But you'll be able to find someone up here that'll take you out. There's guys up here that have got big boats that need to fill spots.
Yeah, a lot of fuel, eh?
Yeah. Like I said, it's a long run. It's a lot of fuel.
Yep.
So you want to go with it with a crew.
Yep.
Watch some YouTube videos. Some North Spearfishing has a great video I'd highly recommend. One video.
You have to get onto the GoPro shit. Like, try and get half eaten again and film it this time.
Well, I had a GoPro on my head for the whole thing. I just didn't press record.
Oh, man. I suppose you
couldn't have asked.
I was trying to save my life.
just give me a minute, bud. Come back in 5 when I get this thing set up.
Well, between the first and second go, I pressed a button, but I turned it off. I was like, not thinking straight.
Oh, as it would be. That's loose.
Yeah.
Did you put my lens cap back on my camera?
Yes.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Good job.
All right. We'll round her out.
All right.
Thanks heaps for your time, man. That was quite informative and scary, but good. Get into spearfishing, kids. It's not as bad as what Nathan makes out.
No, it's good. It's great.
It's good health. It's good mental health, good fitness.
It's good to get away. Like, when you're out there and you're underwater, there's only one thing you think about.
Yep.
So it kind of...
Even if it's not spearfishing, I mean, like, just getting out there and just getting on the reef, getting in the water.
Just have a look,
Yeah.
It's even just diving 2 meters under completely flips a switch in your mind. You're like, what is this place?
Yeah, I've never explored this.
That time that Nathan took me out, like, he gave me the gun with every intention to, do what you want to do. For like the first 2 minutes, I was like, okay, I'm going to shoot something. And then, you just get caught up in the, wow, that's nice. Wow, what's going on over there? Life just happens around you, and all of a sudden it's like, oh, it's gun.
Well, like what I was saying just before, like you're on top of the water snorkeling, and the waves are hitting, and you can hear the waves and the noise and that, and that's normal because you can hear it.
And then a bit goes in your snorkel.
And you cough and splutter and carry on. You're one of them guys that, like, you're spearing with them, and you hear the whole time they go. One of them guys.
It is a good getaway.
Yeah. But then, like, it's sort of that surface noise, even when your head's facing under and you're looking at stuff. If you actually dive under, you can start to hear all the coral pop and the fish feed, and it's just a completely it's sort of,
You can't describe it until you're there.
No, get around it.
Have a go.
Righto, for the third and final time, we're out. Let's go. I'm sick of fucking talking. I'm joking. Thanks very much for your time, man. Appreciate it.
No worries.